tell us where we are right now?
Well, we're at, actually the location is semi-secret, so I don't want to give an exact location in case they want it for evidence. But I am in Wisconsin, it'll be northwestern Wisconsin, and I just prefer to call it North Waco. I think it was 92, I got the property for $1 from my dad, so I'm like the third generation to own North Waco. But I decided not to let it just languish, and I built a shooting institute out here. Thus, the Full Clip Institute was born. And that's been my passion ever since. And I've got a special program for strippers, an educational program for single mothers, preferably that work in the adult entertainment field. And for free, they can come out here and train. So I want to get that word out there because I think it's important, and it's me, you know, giving back to humanity. I think that's the side of me I want shown. But anyway, that's how the Full Clip Institute was born out here in North Waco, and we try to promote shooting in every way possible. That's what we're all about. Why? Well, it's an American passion, actually, because guns are, they're two of my biggest passions, like mechanical stuff and history. Well, the reason I have the freedom to own private property is because Washington and his band of rebels decided that blowing off destructive weapons into the guts of a bunch of weasel Europeans was how that comes about. If we hadn't done that back in the 1770s, I wouldn't be here. I'd be at a labor camp, you know, eating gruel or something. So freedom has a direct connection with the voluntary and free dispersal of lead downrange. Where are we? Shooting stuff, I don't know if it's the smell of the powder, the noise you make, because you hear the retort from a gun, or what happens downrange, what you're hitting. But the combination is just fabulous. Better than sex, and certainly better than sex with me, from what I've heard from all my girlfriends. So it's got it all. It's just a fat. But I can go on all day. I love guns. What do you want to see next? My favorite's probably a 1911, made by John Browning, finest American to ever live, next to perhaps Jefferson. I mean, everybody probably recognizes that profile, because it began in 1911. Comfortable, fun to shoot. So I'd have to say this is one of my favorites right now. Calibers and the mechanical part of it actually are a history unto themselves. They follow exactly what our ambitions are, where we're at in the world, what we need to do. When we went into the Morrow conflict after the Spanish-American War, we were using .38, so that diameter bullet, but we were using them on the Morrows, which were basically a bunch of religious fanatics, sound kind of familiar, that were high on opium most of the time. And they'd come in swinging machetes because they had no real weapons, so we'd pump 6 of these into them. Well, they're so high and stoned that they keep swinging, and they usually pump 6 in and cut your head off. Well, that didn't make it, so we started going to the .45. Actually, we went to, that's kind of a pissy little one. I do my reload. This is a .45 hardball right here. This is a military round, and that's not only a wider bullet, but a heavier bullet. And you can destroy a lot more flesh with this than you can with that. And because of the surface area, it's got what we call stopping power. So some stoned out Moro swinging his knife around, guess what? You hit him with one of these, he's down. You're still up. So that's where we superseded the .38 to the .45, and that happened in 1911. And we kept the 1911 .45 until 1983 or 85 or something like that, about 75 years. And then we went to the Pissant 9mm. Not because it's any better, it's because all the other NATO puke countries use this. So again, it was more of a logistical bookworm, you know, pinhead operation than actually which caliber worked better. So now we're using Berettas, which strangely aren't made in America, are they? And we're using 9mm rather than the .45s. So again, history of who's greasing whose palms, all this. Study history through ballistics. You'll get just as good an idea what's going on as anything else. I think this is the first handgun I ever bought. So this is some sentimental value here. I bought it was I in junior high? I might have been in 10th grade. Back then we had an actual country, not like the security states we're currently ensconced in. So a high schooler could go in and buy a pistol without any problems, without any paperwork. So you can't go wrong. If you have any brains, college education, buy your kids pistols, because they always go up in price. Anytime you're in a gun show and you're sitting there looking at a gun and you're, I did the same thing with this one, but what if it, that's a lot of money, buy it. Quit your whining, buy the damn thing, because it's always a good idea. Smith & Wesson, we gave them all to the British. They shot 38s originally, and then after the war, you couldn't have 38 caliber ammunition in Britain because they're basically a nation of slaves, so they converted a whole bunch of these to 22s, and it was made by Parker Hale Company, which made shotguns. And so this is a 22 conversion of a 38 Victory model. And I bought this one and I've never seen another one. And even I sat there and went, so buy it, shut the hell up and buy it. Well, anytime a loopy lefty comes out here and shoots, they leave a more educated loopy lefty. But it's like pulling teeth to get them to think about it that way. I mean, you can't come out and shoot and not have fun. That just isn't possible. But if a loopy lefty shoots, he'll be a loopy lefty who appreciates firearms. It's just the way it is. You're not going to change, the fact that he thinks paying some welfare whore is a good idea or something like that. But you'll certainly come around on at least one issue.
What about animal rights activists?
Lunatics. I mean, complete.
But is there any way that hunters and animal rights activists could find common ground in your estimation?
No, because they're completely detached from the reality. But most loopy lefties aren't animal rights activists. They're basically, they're left of center on, the abortion issue or welfare or some kind of crap. Most of your loopy lefties eat hamburgers. There's a very small bunch that is the animal rights activist end of it. And they're more ridiculous than ever. I mean, now they're burning car lots to save, the ferret. I don't know. They're just completely out of their minds, and they'll make themselves irrelevant. They're such morons. So there's no hope for them. They're just simply mentally ill. Shooting, whether you're good at it or not, is fun to do. It's just a naturally fun thing to do. And there's always smiles on the faces when gunfire is going off. Fantastic thing. So it's financially. It's a sound investment. It brings joy and smiles to you. Everybody loves a firearm, like warmly leaping in their hands like a little pup. It's just fabulous.